This is Mike Cervantes. This is my topic proposal paper for War Stories, Spring 2014 through EIU. The primary text I'm going to talk about in this proposal is The Red Badge of Courage, written by Stephen Crane. I'm also going to discuss the film Stand By Me, which came out in 1986 and is directed by Rob Reiner. It was based on the short story The Body by Stephen King. The topic I will discuss is the theme as it relates to a true coming-of-age story. Both Stand By Me and Red Badge of Courage share a common theme as it relates to an internal struggle with fear. The main characters in both stories are trying to find their own identity. They also each have gripping plots of innocence lost, maturity gained, mortality confronted, and the obsession of young men who are trying to prove something to themselves. I'm interested in this because I can relate to it. I was the kid who loved to play army and had the fake bloody battles and the preconceived notion of what war, death, and what becoming a real man was. I loved to play cops and robbers, and I thought I knew what it meant to become a hero. I carried and I still carry with me the drive to constantly challenge myself. I just see things now through more mature eyes, and I think both of these stories I can easily relate to. That's why I chose to do it on this topic. The background and experience I bring to this topic comes with having to mature at the young age of 18 years old when I became a husband and shortly thereafter a father. Within a few months, I was deployed during Operation Iraqi Freedom and Operation Enduring Freedom, where I was confronted with the true reality of what becoming a man is all about and the true meaning of what courage is. All of these things have helped me define the person who I am and helped me in my last 10 and a half years in law enforcement. In that career, I have been able to see human nature at its worst and as well as sometimes at its best. I've seen how preconceived notions as well as culture can destroy or build up young men. This paper relates to what we have learned and what we have been discussing in the class, as each writer has written or talked about stories of young men in horrible conditions becoming men. So I guess young boys becoming young men in horrible conditions. Some of the stories include life lost too young, heroic and brave acts of young men who have served their country. The key question that drives the topic and text I will be discussing is centered around misconceptions of manhood and what it means to be a hero. Secondary sources will include the 2000 film The Patriot, written by Robert Rodet. I know it's not the most historically accurate, but a few scenes I felt really related to this topic and accurately depict a boy's preconceived notion or delusions of grandeur as they relate to death, war, and duty. And I think it also shows a good comparison of the father, Mel Gibson, and his reality of already experiencing war and death. I knew I wanted to write about the Red Badge of Courage, but I had problems finding a Civil War film that I was familiar with that I could relate to the Red Badge of Courage. So while some may shrug at the idea of me comparing Red Badge of Courage to a film based on a story written by Stephen King, I think the angle I'm trying to capture is more the correlation between the two and a true coming-of-age story. And I think that's what both of them represented to me. Coming-of-age stories of young men and friendship in horrible circumstances and situations surrounded by death. That's it. Thank you.